if Zubi said it, if Alisa said it, I would probably take it different. You know what I'm saying? So, on this table, you run everybody down. Because you always like to hear yourself fucking talk. Fuck off, man.
Have you all seen the 3rd and 4th episode of Ebuka's show, Ebuka's Tons of Africa? If you have not seen it, you are missing. Like, TIMINI came for Ebuka, I'm like, what is this? TIMINI has been so rude. He's been coming for everybody, you know, from Zubi. Like, no, Zubi is a regular customer. Like, what Zubi stole from TIMINI, I do not know. He literally has to mention Zubi's name in everything, and not in a positive manner. Zubi made his hair when they arrived in Morocco, and TIMINI just said, you know what, you went to go and do a low version type of hair because I did that. I'm like, He now started saying that, oh, Zubi made the hair because of him. I'm like, TIMINI, are you being for real? Like, it's crazy, but a lot of things happened in Morocco. If you think that Kigali, Rwanda was dramatic, Marrakesh, Casablanca, Morocco was crazy. Like, I have not seen this side of Ebuka before, honestly. And it made me love him more because we saw the moments in that show where Ebuka literally had an opportunity. Like, if he had lost his cool at that point, nobody would blame him. But he refused to, and that shows you a lot about him. Like, I used to think that women are dramatic, but men, hey. But the difference between men and women, from what I saw from the reality shows that I've seen, from the Real Housewives to Ebuka Tons of Africa, is that the men, despite everything, they shall do settle their differences. But even if they settled it, I still will talk about it because it happened on the show. So they went to Morocco first, they went to Casablanca, then Zubi goes to make his hair, and they go surfing. TIMINI did not want to surf. I don't know why. Ebuka could not surf because he was sick to his stomach. Then Onoja, Jimmy, Alistair, and Zubi were surfing. Zubi... Oh, Jesus. Zubi, I don't even know what Zubi was doing, but Onoja, gave it a try and he did great. But there was a mini accident that happened. Zubi's surfing board hit Onoja's face and I think also his hand. And Onoja did not actually say that. Then when they gathered together for lunch and all that, that was where Onoja had to speak up about the whole situation. And Zubi was like, you had the opportunity to tell me that, I hit you when it happened, but you couldn't do that. And Zubi was like, what kind of a guy is this? You are the kind of guy that will hold grudges and all of that. Zubi gave a half-assed apology. And that apology was like, I'm not used to giving apologies, but sorry. I'm like, I know, that's not an apology. That is so not an apology, Zubi Michael, Anyways, then they started talking about, things they've learned about each other. That was where Zubi was like, you know what, Alistair, you're a drunkard. I'm like, hey, Zubi, maybe you want to say he drinks too much. Nobody say him be a drunkard. He don't say you're a drunkard, you're always drinking, blah, blah, blah. I see that jab on Alistair was not enough. That's how TIMINI started saying, Alistair, you are the clown of the group. You're always trying to perform, make everybody happy, joke, so that you can feel among. I'm like, which kind thing be this? You could see that Alistair, he was not taking it at all. He was like, you know what? I mean, he's not a joker. He's just this guy and all of that. And I'm like, okay. So they went for night markets now. When they went to that market, they divided into two. There was Ebuka, TIMINI, and Alistair who went to eat cow brain. Is it sheep brain? Sheep whatever. And they did not obviously like it. Then there was TIMINI, Onoja, and Zubi went to eat snails. Yeah, like snails, literally snails. I don't know what you guys are thinking. Anyways, so while they were eating it, that was when, Jimmy and Zubi decided to talk about this whole Onoja situation, how he does not really open up or talk about when you've hurt him. And they were like, why? Why'd you do that? Jimmy cited the incident at the golf course back in Kigali, how when he needed him to open his mouth and say he was the one that started the topic at the table, he shut up, making everybody think that Jimmy is crazy or he has anger issues. And Zubi was like, Onoja, your type is truly dangerous and all of that. And they talked about it. Before they went for club, they went for mountain hike. That was where Timini was just... Timini is annoying. Honestly, he's annoying. Yeah. Like, the behavior Timini was exhibiting, I actually thought, okay, Zubi might be that guy, but Timini was that guy. So, at some point, mid-journey, while the others were busy enjoying the waterfalls and everything, that was how, Timini started talking about, talking to Onoja and Alistair, saying, how Onoja, how can you think that that apology, that Zubi Michael gave you is a real apology, that's not a real apology, blah, 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 and even you, Alistair, that Zubi has put fear into you. That's when he called you a drunkard, you could not respond. And Alistair was like, okay, let's take it up there. What about you that called me a clown? Like, what Zubi said didn't really mean anything to me, but you shall called me a clown. And Timini could not believe it, how the whole thing turned back at him. And he was like trying to defend himself as always. One thing he said that really made me laugh, like, oh, so this guy has been carrying this thing all these hours in his heart. And I'm like, oh, you think he shouldn't have, but it was okay for you to say that Onoja should be carrying, some kind of beef in his heart towards Zubi. Talk about a hypocrite. Anyway, so that happened. Then the dinner that ended it all in Marrakesh. I'm like, okay. For the dinner, they went for a Hammam spa. That place was like the funniest, guys. That was the funniest. The Hammam spa thing, I didn't even know what Hammam spa was until they showed us. So Zubi booked it for the guys. I thought it was girls, that will come and massage you and then give you happy ending. Ebuka and Jimmy decided, nope, this is not for us. We are married men. So they went to the market. Ebuka wanted to help Jimmy get something for his wife because the wife had already told him what he wanted. I love that part, married men bonding and talking about marriage and what it takes to make a marriage work. That was beautiful. Then the rest were now in the spa now with their towels. That was how they sat down, expecting women to come and massage them. That what they saw was 4 empty men. The men came and said, your towel, remove it. I'm like, mommy, this is not what they came here for. If you see the way they were stretching this man. Onoja just said, huh? So he was like, why are you making that sound? Oh my goodness. Honestly, that was the funniest part of the 4th episode. Now that happened, then Ebuka decided, okay, it's going to be our last time, or our last night here. Let's go for a proper Moroccan dinner to get the Moroccan experience. That was how all hell was broken loose. Timini went at everybody. Ebuka was like, Timini, you look like a guy, you always back out of things. And before we could say that, he now said that with Ebuka, don't you always back out, on things and all of that. And before that happened, there was a conversation or a confrontation between Alistair and Zubi, because Alistair, when Ebuka asked him, oh, what was your impression of Zubi then and your impression of him now? And Alistair was like, Zubi, Ebuka's friend, wow, that's like interesting. And later he was like, okay, fine, you can be his friend. And out of nowhere, Zubi was like, you lying motherfucker. Hey! I'm like, who anointed Zubi? Waiting. That was how Zubi was like, you saw me and you said you didn't know my name at the hangar. You said, what's your name? And that was how this whole argument. Alistair was like, I was just trying to, because, I didn't think you Ebuka's friend, blah, 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 blah. And that means you knew who I was. That was what Zubi was like, you're fake. I'm like, whoa, this is giving Real Housewife of Lagos right now. Anyways, back to Timini. Timini started going at Ebuka. I was shook and shooketh. He was like, Ebuka, I mean, every guy here just kissing your ass. I mean, is it because you invited us to this trip? How much is this trip? Let's say Ebuka. So that nobody will... I'm like, so what the hell is it for? I'm like, what? You could tell that Ebuka was pissed. You could tell. But one thing I love that Ebuka did not lose his cool. Like, all the other guys were like, what is wrong with this guy? there was a matching at some point there was a shouting match between Timini and Jimmy, and Jimmy was like, what the hell? You know, you can express yourself, but don't be rude about it. You've talked down on almost all the guys here. You even talked down on Alistair. You talked about Zubi. Zubi, now your regular market person, your regular customer. Now it's Ebuka that brought you, paid your, rented a jet to bring you there. Now you don't open your mouth talk. He was like, how much is this? I'm like, what? And I love what Ebuka did. Ebuka was like, you know what? While Jimmy was talking, he said, Jimmy, no. I mean, how should I feel about it? If it was an Alistair or an Onoja or you, Jimmy, or maybe a Zubi that said this, I probably would have felt some type of way. But coming from Timini, nah, I expected it of him. And Timini went gaga. He was like, that's disrespectful. I'm like, yes, Ebuka has triggered him. You know, he wanted to be the one to trigger Ebuka, but Ebuka, somebody went on the host reunion for how many years? Well, somebody went on the host Big Brother. You think say you feel trigger him like that? Ebuka gave it back to him in a very calm, cold manner. Before you could say Jack, while Jimmy was going at Timini, Timini could not take it. He walked off. But that was how they came back to Lagos, Nigeria. Ebuka already prepared an after party for them. There was, I saw Take, I saw Hilda Bassi, I saw the band was at the party. Banky, you all know Banky W is Ebuka's very good friend, and he was narrating the whole story about what happened, and Banky was shocked, like, what? All these things happened? And before that, Onoja had a meeting with Timini telling him, okay, everybody probably would expect you not to show up because of what happened the last night in Marrakesh, but shall just come to show that you're a bigger person or something of that sort. And before the party, Zubi and Ebuka already met at Tafo's, store where Ebuka went to pick out his outfit. And Zubi was like, I like the way you handled this whole situation. And then while they were making a toast, Jimmy now said, but there's a glass here that is still, not filled, and that's obviously Timini. He walks in and he greets everybody, but the moment he walks in, you could see that Ebuka's countenance changed. Ebuka was not happy, and as they were like, oh, we're good, he called Ebuka out to have a private conversation with him, and he did not apologize. He said, I'm not here to say sorry, I'm just here to explain, blah blah blah. And Ebuka was like, everything you said and did, I already know what, so there's really no need for this explanation, but we're good. At the end of the day, the show were all good and it was all one love. That was how it ended. And that is the difference between the Real Housewives of, Real Housewives and these guys, because if it were women, this would probably not have ended the way it did. But I hope this is not the last episode. Ebuka and Co. Prime. I hope it's not just 4 episodes you people are trying to give us, because how can you give us something so good and tell us it's just 4 episodes? I'm looking forward to a whole season. Like, give us more. What happened? No, did they go from Lagos to Ghana, to Ethiopia? Did they give us something else, baby? Please, I want them to release another or 2 episodes next week Friday, because you can't keep me hanging like this. You're now giving me what I need for a reality show, and you are still trying to, please don't let me think that this is the end. But honestly, Timini has made himself like the villain of the guys. Let me just tell you how I feel about them, all of them. Ebuka is the leader. Yeah, he is the leader. He is that glue that brings all of them together. He is the cool guy, level-headed, and Zubi is the one that you think will cause trouble, but he's actually the fun guy. He's actually the softie, but he's actually a very smart guy. Do you get? Then we have Onoja. Onoja is, for me, he's a cool guy. I loved the part that he talked about his finances and all of that. I love the fact that he could be vulnerable. He's a cool guy, but I see him as that dude that when he decides to show you wickedness, you self go shock, because you will not expect that of him, because he's always quiet and he doesn't want confrontations and all of that. And like Zubi said, very dangerous kind of people. Then we have Alistair. Alistair is that guy that wants to make everybody happy, but deep down he's hurting. From the conversation he had with Ebuka in Rwanda, you could see that he has a lot but he feels like nobody honestly would understand him. So he's just maxing it with this whole happiness. Oh, I'm a happy guy. But this happy guy also needs somebody to make him happy. He can't always be making other people happy. Now, who haven't I talked about? Yeah, Timini. Timini is honestly, Timini was acting like a spoiled brat. Honestly, he's like that last one that just wants all the attention on him, acting out for no reason at all. Feels like nobody should be better than him, but there are a lot of people who are better than him, but they shall just let him act like he's better. He is that guy. He's egocentric. He's a cool guy, but he has this whole arrogancy and rudeness about him. Yeah, that's Timini. He's a he loves being told he is the guy, but most times in that group he might not really be the guy. Then let's talk about Jimmy. Jimmy is a sensitive one. When they were saying he has anger issues, I do not believe that. I believe he's that guy that, you know what, you piss me off, I tell you what you did, and that's that. Let's dead it between the both of us. Let's sort it out between the both of us. Don't carry my issue and tell the whole world. That is who Jimmy is. He's a softie. He is a sensitive guy, probably because, I don't know, his experiences in life. He wants to learn, he wants to grow, but he's a fun guy. And when it comes to dressing, he's one guy I always look forward to what he would wear. In fact, Ebuka, when it comes to fashion, the people that kill it for me, number one has got to be Ebuka. Ebuka always killed it. Jimmy, I love his fashion sense. Timini also, yes, his fashion is great. Onaja is always wearing suits. I don't know why. Zubi gave me a different kind of fashion. Even though they were like, why did he wear what he wore to that party in Marrakesh? But whichever was, I did have a beautiful, nice time watching the guys at Ebuka Turns Up Africa. On that note, I'd like to say a very big thank you to you all for being part of my channel. If you have not yet subscribed, you are missing a lot. Let me just tell you the truth, you are missing a lot. Click on the subscription button, click on the notification bell to let you know whenever I post any new video. Until I come your way again, I remain your darling girl, Ezine Williams. Have yourself a beautiful, wonderful day ahead.